Hey, what's going on, social media land? It's your resident neighborhood therapist, Demetria Corlew, and we're back with another episode of the Redirect Podcast. And what is the Redirect? Of course, you ask. So, it's a podcast doing exactly what I love, and that's helping people to detect, disrupt, and dismantle negative thinking mindsets, patterns, and behaviors. And I do that by shining light, showing love, and sharing resources. And on today, I have a oh my goodness, just an amazing, amazing person that's going to join us on today. And I'm proud and glad to be able to call her friend as well. And that is Angela T. Jackson of the Jackson Impact. And so, just a little bit about Angela. She is my colleague in the field. She's a licensed professional counselor as well. She does a lot of work in relation to chronic illness and just all kinds of things across the landscape. And she's a mom of three as well. And I'm purposefully not giving you a whole lot about her because I know she's going to tell you about her in the process of our chat today. So, with all that being said, let us welcome to the redirect Angela T. Jackson of the Jackson Impact.
Hey, hey.
How you doing?
Doing well. So glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. And so, because when I thought about just people I wanted to have on the redirect, you were definitely up on that list because I'm like, I know you are just the treasure trove of all kinds of nuggets that we all need and can apply somewhere in our life. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna hop right on into it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So, as being a fellow colleague in the field, as being a licensed professional counselor, how would you say um, it is on a matter of importance that people really take care of their mental health?
Hmm. So that is an awesome question. You often hear people say that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And that is a true statement, not just a cliche, because our mental health affects our physical health. A lot of the stressors, a lot of the life changes, the way we think, the way we move, the way we process things, even sometimes the way we spiral. If we don't address what we're thinking, it will manifest in our physical health. You will start to see symptoms overlap where maybe what you're experiencing in your physical body looks like one condition, feels like another condition, and it all stems from our mindset and the way we think.
Oh, so let's deep dive kind of a bit more into that because our mental health can take such a hit, so to say, when there are physical ailments going on with us, chronic pain, um,
Absolutely.
autoimmune diseases, just all types of things. Even things that some of us may consider small, like high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that. It all impacts our body, which thus in turns impacts our mental health as well. So, how how does someone really go about balancing the two and attributing to, okay, well, is this my physical ailment kind of going on, or is this more mental health than physical?
Okay.
Mm,
So, one word, excess. Pay
mm,
attention to what you're experiencing in excess.
mm.
Whether it or do you find yourself worrying more than normal? Do you find yourself tossing and turning, having those sleepless nights more than normal in excess? Do you find that you are having symptoms, maybe stomach aches, maybe headaches, maybe back pain, that are unexplained by other things that may be going on in your life, and it's happening in excess? Those are the moments when you need to seek out a professional, whether it's initially the PCP or whether it's a mental health professional. Take note of changes that have taken place in your life. That may point more toward the mental. If you have experienced a loss of any kind, whether it's a loss of a loved one, maybe it's a loss of a pet, maybe it's even a loss of a job. A lot of times people don't think about grieving life situations or things that you would normally expect for your life. And that also comes into play with chronic illness and changes within your body. Sometimes we grieve a lifestyle that we thought we were headed towards or a lifestyle that we were planning for. So when you think about the things that are taking place in your life, what is it leaning more toward? Is it more toward changes as far as stressors, or is it changes as far as physical activities, the way that you're eating, lack of exercise? Maybe you have been working 7 days straight. You know, they say no days off. I'm just not with that. Because again, whatever's affecting that physical body, it cycles around, affects your mental health. Now, all of a sudden, you're worrying, you're stressing out. And then guess what happens? Cycles right back around and increases the symptoms that you're feeling in your body. So there is a cycle between the two. But simply, as I said before, what are you experiencing in excess? Is it leaning more toward the mental? That may point to a direction of where you should start looking. Is it pointing more toward the physical? That might say, okay, let me check in with the primary doctor first. And then guess what? There's that great potential that they'll be able to collaborate and refer one to another.
I like that because it's just so simplified. And sometimes, we just need just that short and sweet nugget that we can just go back to. And I love how you just formulated that of what am I experiencing in excess, because that's just a time for us to really check in with ourselves.
Yes.
To really see, okay, well, how am I feeling physically? How am I feeling emotionally? How am I feeling spiritually? Just all the major areas of our life, because sometimes we get to going and going and going and going, and we don't stop and check in with ourselves until we feel just dog tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just can't go on, or our body starts to talk to us. Now we got a headache.
That's right.
Now our eye hurt.
That's right.
That could just be me.
Girl,
my eye get to twitching and all.
That's right. Side of your lip, nerves just taking over. If we don't check in, our bodies will check out.
Yes. Yes.
Truthfully.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's so true. Because when I I teach a group on like sleep hygiene, and I always tell clients that essentially your body needs a certain amount of rest, and it's going to get it voluntarily or involuntarily. Like you have to pay back that time that your body needs at some point.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. I say a very similar thing. If we don't rest, if we don't take care of our bodies is going to turn around and take a break on its own. It will shut down when it's ready.
So, speaking about taking a rest and being intentional about just physically how our body is feeling, what our body is saying to us in relation to our needs, how would you say that you are intentional about checking in with your body and taking care of your needs? Because I think sometimes the perception may be like, okay, well, this person's a therapist, so they got everything on the up and up, and we get this picture painted of us sometimes. And I want to shine some light on that, because it's like, hey, we're human. We're
That's
human.
right.
And, we everybody has their own separate journey that they're walking, and so everybody may do things a little bit differently, but we all should be committed to the outcome but flexible in our approach. And so I'm just wondering, what is your approach to that self-care?
Oh, wow. When you say self-care, you said that perfectly. Just because I'm a therapist, I don't have it all right. I have to be very intentional about my self-care. Like I'll wave my but taking time to get the nails done and just honestly creating time and space to rest, to unplug and just pause. Some days my self-care is just to do nothing at all because I'm going from 0 to 100 constantly a lot of times, whether it is just a rest day and the kiddos are visiting family or friends. I might want to sit back and chill a little bit. Or for me, it's regaining my time, regaining that private time, whether it's a walk. I'm trying to get back into even doing some of the hobbies and talents that I did before that I haven't had as much time to do, like drawing, like writing, just for leisure. So I would have to say that time management is also a part of creating and constructing a self care routine. Task management is a part of that because I have to create limits for myself. And somebody's probably saying that doesn't sound like self care. But something I love to talk about is self care is not only the beauty shop, the barber shop, getting those nails done, even though that it feels good, right? But we also have to think about professional self-care. That means I take breaks. I remove myself from my workspace. I'm intentional when I go outside. What does the social self-care look like? Am I connecting with people who light me up as opposed to constantly draining me just during my rest time? When just because I'm a therapist, I don't want to talk about my therapeutic approach after work hours, right? I was always that worker that would say, "Oh, you can't turn people off and on. It's not just a 9 to 5." But boy, I try to create that sometimes. I try to create that. But, knowing if someone finds out that you're a therapist in public or even at a family gathering, there are the questions. There's that unintentional deep dive, and they find themselves just opening up. And I'm like, ooh, show me to the charcuterie board. So even the social self-care is huge because if I'm taking a break, I have to respect my time. Like I said, time management, task management. I have to set healthy boundaries for myself. That's a part of my self-care. So you've got even that emotional and psychological self-care. That for me would fall in that psychological space because I need to unwind. I need to unplug. I need to pause a little bit. And then also just spatial. I've always kind of said, oh, we got physical self-care, we've got spiritual self-care, and spatial is, do you feel comfortable in the space that you're in? Does it lighten the spirit, so to speak? So y'all can probably see my plants. Clients always comment, "Oh, you got so many plants back there." I'll turn my chair, got some more on that side. So that's just a part of my self-care in those different spaces, and it's important because it speaks to the total person, the mind, the body, the soul, right? What is that connection there? So the main thing is, do I have it all together? No. Am I being more intentional? Yes.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad that you went there because I know I've experienced it at different points in time in my life before I really did some work in that area where it's like sometimes we feel like we're supposed to have it all together at a certain amount of time. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I may hear someone say, "Well, I'm about to turn 30. I don't know what it is with the number 30." But clients will say to me, "Well, I'm getting ready to turn 30 and I'm not married and I don't have kids and I'm not seeing anybody." And it's just this whole list of expectations that they felt like should be achieved by that time that they haven't done. But it's like, well, are these societal expectations, or where
Mm,
did these even come from? And I'm going there because it plays into that. Okay, sometimes we give ourselves unrealistic expectations because we feel like we're supposed to have it together, but really that might not be the road that we're supposed to take. Not that
mm,
those things won't come, but it's okay that they're not here, they haven't
yeah,
manifested right at that time.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Absolutely.
let me shift just a little bit, because I know you do lots of work, um and chronic illness and things like that. And so how would you say that um expectations and maybe other goals and things that clients in which you see may feel as though, okay, I'm supposed to reach this at this time, but I haven't been able to because of physical ailments or other things that may be coming up. How would you say that that's, I want to feel like that's maybe a little bit different, because when you have a physical ailment, um I'm sure for many, that just kind of shifts just your atmosphere of even receiving that information, let alone your goals.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just because different things come up. So kind of speak to us a little bit more about that.
So, oh goodness. So, as a chronic illness counselor, I'll call myself that. I the whole interest derived out of my own personal story. And it's true, there may be goals that you have in place. There may be a whole lifestyle, as I said before, that maybe you had envisioned for yourself. And spiritually, we already know where that can go. So when dealing with chronic illness, let's say you're newly diagnosed and there are new limitations, right?
Yeah.
So this gives you the space for the new normal, right? And it's hard to embrace initially because you have to consider the life changes, the anxiety around it, the depression, the disappointment, and grief. So in those beginning stages, it's going to appear as if you have to fully change your goals. And in some cases, there may need to be a different route. It doesn't mean that you cannot accomplish goals altogether.
Yeah.
It may look a little bit differently. It doesn't mean that your goals before the diagnosis are no longer good. You may have to take a different route. And a lot of times purpose is developed out of that,
Mhm.
right? And that it could be for us, it could be for other people. So figuring out what the new normal looks like, acknowledging and admitting exactly what it is that you're feeling during those times. And that's where you have to figure out, okay, who is going, where are my supports at this point?
Yeah.
What else in my life has remained the same? That was the biggest thing for me when I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at the age of 23. I was a healthy kid, healthy adolescent, healthy young adult up to that point. So, as you mentioned, the goals, the dreams, I had just graduated with a bachelor's. So I had hopes, dreams, desires. I was going to move here. I was going to travel. I was going to, and so all of that, there was a halt, right? It wasn't just a yield sign, it was a hard stop. I
Mm.
had to figure out what my life looked like, what was different, and oh my goodness, talking about that mental health end of things, I paid more attention to what was wrong, what had changed, And so from a therapeutic perspective, I encourage my clients, let's take a look at the things that are constant. Let's take a look at the things that remain the same. And that helps them to be able to pick out even things that they can control in the midst of change, and connects them right back to the goals that they had. Okay, maybe I can't take this route, but I'll take another direction. And I often say, in the city I live in, it's so small. We have 2 McDonald's, right? But I know we got 2 McDonald's. But girl, I tell you, I can give you 8 different directions to get to either of the 2. So whereas the direction might change, whereas the route may be different, the goal doesn't have to change. You can still make it to your goal. Might take a little bit more time. You may have to pace yourself, but forward is forward, whether it's a baby step, whether it's a leap. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I love that.
Still possible. It's all still possible.
Yes. I again, how you phrase that, forward is forward. Like, celebrate the momentum. Because that's momentum. Even if you're baby stepping, you're crawling, or whatever it is that you're doing, because you already passing somebody that's not doing anything.
That's right.
And there's lots of folks that's not doing anything. But it always amazes me too. Okay, I'm gonna be slightly petty and shady. I apologize. Because it always amazes me. I mean, because I'm sure that we hear it in session, we hear when we may speak to friends and people vent and things like that, how the opinions kind of come forth when the doing starts to happen, but yet that other person didn't do anything, but got lots to say.
Got a whole lot to say.
Okay, I'm done being shady.
Oh my goodness. That is so true. People can only see and comment, right, to their own level of limitations. That's all they can see. She can't do that. Don't do this. Don't, girl. And doing nothing. You know what? I heard someone say, I don't know if it was at a conference or not, but this stuck with me. They said, you will never hear another successful person critiquing or downing, or I say, or dogging another successful person who's trying, who's making the effort, who's making the steps, who's on the rise. It's never the person who's doing the same thing. It's not the person that you have things in common with. Sometimes it's the person who's doing a little bit less.
So very true. So very true.
But projecting, girl, projecting.
Yes, projecting.
That's
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you're going and just dropped the term on out there.
Yes, projecting their fears, projecting their limits. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Because people do that, but also too, that just brought to mind that sometimes parents do that to children as well, and especially now because the generation that's coming forth now is so creative and so inventive in lots of different things, and parents haven't experienced quite a bit of what our youth are doing now, and so sometimes that projection starts to happen simply because we may not understand. And so there may be kind of a fear there, or I guess in a way, maybe a little bit of ignorance. I don't know if that's just the best word to use, but there's just a lack of knowledge. Let me say that. There's a lack of knowledge there that essentially parents are having to kind of school themselves to really understand what it is that their child may be walking into. Because I know I got that a lot, scaling back the hands of time just a little bit when I wanted to get a bachelor's in social work. And my dad just really did not understand what was social work? He called me a paper pusher for the longest.
Wow.
I'm ashamed to even say it, but it did. So, because he just really didn't get it until he saw it and got to experience it and was immersed in it just from what I was doing to really kind of see, oh my goodness, there's so many lanes that you can go into in relation to that. And so that whole thing just kind of made me think, okay, parents, let us have an open mind.
That's right. That's right. Like, I'm a parent of three, and it's true. Parents can be dream killers. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Our children are dealing with things that we didn't have to. Girl, now don't have me on here aging myself. I don't want to age myself too much.
But it's just so true. And I'm like, I just really felt the need to bring that up. So if you are a parent and that's kind of bubbling in your spirit, just do some internal inventory to see, okay, what what is this bringing up for me?
Mm,
Just
I
to
like that.
explore that a little bit more. What's that bringing up for me? And then what do you kind of equate that to? Because sometimes we equate different situations and circumstances to different feelings or different things that we've experienced in our own life, and so we attach those emotions to that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I was thinking attachment when you said that. The connections that we have in our childhood, it connects directly to the relationships we have as adults or even to our children. So if there were some limitations or some boundaries, or maybe we were not allowed to explore, sometimes the coin flips a little bit. Maybe I didn't get to experience it. So I'm pushing and I'm, immersing my kids and all of this. And they're like, wait a minute, can I take a break? All right. And then, so in turn, that child that was doing it all is like, no, don't do this, don't do that,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah.
So very true. So very true. Well, I appreciate you kind of taking a quick deep dive with me on chronic illness and mental health and self-care and all that good stuff and how it all kind of works together. I'm going to pivot us yet again and we're going to play a little game.
Ooh.
Little game, easy breezy. You got this. You automatically get a gold star. I'm telling
Okay.
you. It's a little game, little game that I titled "What's the Move?" So I have 3 questions that I just want to know what's the move on for you.
Okay.
Question number 1: pumpkin pie or chess pie? What's the move?
Girl, chess pie.
I should have said pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie.
Oh, girl, it would have been sweet potato. It would have been sweet potato, girl. I bake a mean sweet potato pie.
I feel like pumpkin pie just don't be getting the love sometimes.
Girl, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. You see, now you've added in my 2 specialties, pumpkin and chess.
So let me ask you this one: spaghetti and fish, which I don't necessarily feel like should go together, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, but spaghetti and fish or shrimp and grits?
Okay, I have to say spaghetti and fish.
Really?
Spaghetti and fish with a side of coleslaw.
Oh my goodness. So now I got to ask the subpart B question to that. So do you believe that spaghetti and fish, is that 2 entrees or is that an entree and a side?
Oh my goodness. Now you go, okay, so spaghetti, and now our viewers are going to have to help me out with this, I must say. So spaghetti with meat in it is an entree. But when you have your spaghetti with the sauce and that goes with the fish, that goes with the coleslaw. I believe it has a different name to it when it's just the noodles and your pasta and your tomato, all that. So it can be either or, depending on how it's made, depending on how it's prepared.
Okay. Okay. Well, for the record, that is 2 entrees. That is 2 entrees. I stand by it. I said it.
Oh my
2
goodness,
entrees.
girl. You gonna have me up here like John P. Key and sugar don't go on grits.
Yeah. See, now I'm with the sugar and grits. Like, yes, you
Oh
you supposed to do that.
my goodness.
But I'm like,
Girl,
that
you gonna
spaghetti
have
fish.
me in here singing a song about my spaghetti and fish.
Oh, last one. A day of nature or a day of shopping?
Mm, a day of nature.
Really?
Really.
Oh, wow.
I'm a window shopper,
Uh-huh.
but oh my goodness. The trees, the wind blowing, the water, being by the river, just the quiet of the city streets, but the noise of the animals and the birds and the yeah. I'm a country girl.
I'm like, okay,
Yep, the crunch of the leaves, girl, I can get yes.
okay. Well, before I let you go, please tell the people where they can find you and learn more of what you do and connect with you.
Oh, wow. I would love for you all to connect with me. Go to www.thejacksonimpact.com. That's TheJacksonimpact. You can find me on Facebook at Jackson Impact. You could also follow me. Look me up on Psychology Today if you have questions specifically about services, whether virtual, whether in person, which is coming up soon in July. I'm excited about that. You can go to just look up Angela T. Jackson on Psychology Today. Find me on Instagram. My personal blog is THEE Angela T. Jackson. And also on Instagram, the business page is the.jackson.impact.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Angela, for stopping by the redirect and just sharing some time with us. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good social media engagement. I appreciate it all and receive lots of lovely feedback and questions and all that good stuff. So y'all keep it coming. Plus, you never know that your comment or question may end up on the next Redirect podcast. So until then, we'll see y'all later. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.